Okay, so this is a lesson on calculating residuals. And then after we calculate the residuals, we are going to actually construct a residual plot. So let's start by just calculating residuals. What is a residual? A residual is how far a real data point is from the predicted or expected value. Okay, so what does that look like graphically? Here we have a graph, and the line, the regression model, tells us about a predicted value, so what we expect to get given the trend of the data. And a residual is how far the data point is from our expected value. So if this is what we expect to get, how far from the expected value is the actual data point? How far off is it, so to speak, from what we expected to get? Okay, so let's do a little bit of math. First, to start, the first thing you have to do is you have to calculate all of the predicted weights. So we have our height, we have a weight, we have the regression model, and now what we need to know is what would we expect to get given the regression model and given the data. Okay, so to start, what we're going to do, let me zoom out just a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take our data of 61 and we're going to substitute it into the regression model for x. So we're going to do this at x equals 61. So y equals 6 times 61 minus 239. In my calculator, I'm going to do 6 times 61 and get 366. And then in my calculator, I'll do 366 minus 239. And I get 127. So my predicted weight is I would expect someone to weigh 127 pounds, but in the real world, someone actually weighed 110 pounds. Let me find a predicted weight one more time. So y equals 6x minus 239, and this time I'm going to do this at x equals 74. So y equals 6 times 74 minus 239. In my calculator, I do 6 times 74 to get 444 minus 239. In my calculator, I do 444 minus 239, and I get 205. So when someone has a height of 74, I expect them to weigh 205 pounds. In real life, someone weighed 212 pounds. Okay. I'm just going to fill in the rest of these values so that we can move on. So I've already done the math. 163, 79, 109, and 145. So again, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and calculate all of those values. So find out what is predicted based on the regression model. So now I need to calculate my residual. And the way that you calculate the residual is you take the actual data and you subtract the predicted data. Okay, so we take this actual data point and we subtract the predicted data point to find out how far it is away. Okay, so let's look at this one ourselves on the graph. When we look at the graph, it's going to be this 61, so that's 61, that's this data point. We expect someone to weigh 127 pounds. But in real life, someone weighed 110 pounds. So they actually weighed less than what we predicted, right? So these points are people weighing less than what we predicted. Points above the line are people who weighed more than what we predicted. So to find out how much less, we take the weight, so 110, and we subtract the predicted weight, 127, and you get negative 17, meaning that they weighed 17 pounds less than we predicted. Let's do 74. So 74 is this data point. Based on my graph, I can't tell if it's above or below. But we know the actual weight was 212 pounds. And the predicted weight was 205 pounds. So we take the weight, which is 212 pounds, and we subtract the predicted weight, which was 205 pounds. And you get 7. So the fact that it's positive means that they weighed 7 pounds more than what we predicted. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of these with my data. So 6, 13, 21, negative 7, and negative 10. Okay. So again, the first thing we did is we found the predicted weight, then we subtracted the actual data point from what we predicted to get the residual. The third thing that you're going to be doing today is graphing the residual. On the x-axis will be our heights in inches. So this is going to be our x-axis. And then on our y-axis will be our residuals. Okay. So I'm going to take a second to go ahead and take a look. I see my largest x value is 21. My smallest residual is negative 17, so maybe I need to go from negative 25 to positive 25. Perfect. So this will be negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, negative 20, negative 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. My heights go from 53 to 74, so I need to start at 50. Is it 55, 60, 65, 70, 75? That works. Excellent. And so now I'm going to plot my residuals. So I'm going to plot the points 61 and negative 17. 61, negative 17, 74, and positive 7, 70, and 6, 67, and 13, 53, and 21, 58, and negative 7, and 64, and negative 10. Okay, so that is calculating residuals and then graphing the residuals.